open session.
Okay.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4 ayes and 1 absent. Or Mario, you're not absent, huh?
There he is.
He's not
Hey,
muted.
there.
Muted then.
Is he muted?
Hi.
Hey, there he is. Hey, wait a minute, that's not Kathy up there.
No, but I'm using her computer because I'm on the other computer for
I
my other
know.
class.
Okay.
I don't know, are we legally able to take that vote? Are you legally allowed to take your vote? You're here.
Yeah, I'm on.
Yeah, on Zoom, yes, I believe you can.
I'm here.
Okay,
So it's live.
we're gonna take it. Okay, action determined in closed session. Unpaid leave for WD 2615 was not approved. That's why a 4-0 vote, 1 absent.
Mario, I'm gonna put you on mute, okay?
Yeah.
Unmute yourself when you wanna talk.
Do that.
Okay, a record of this meeting made and shall be kept for 30 days as public records. Let's all stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Dwayne, would you please read it?
Me? Yeah. Ready, begin. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Mario's here. I'm here. Dwayne's here. Robert's here. Sunni's here. And Alexi. He's not here.
Pull it, change again.
Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll move.
Motion by Vincelette, second by Moore. Well, we got some corrections on it too.
I have the list is right.
On page 4, we're going to remove the transfer of April on the classified employment. We're going to completely remove that off the agenda.
This one here?
Yep.
Okay, so this is that.
That's out. And then the date on, how do you pronounce that name? Marcella is going to be, instead of 12/16/2021, it'd be 1/10/2022.
Okay.
Is that it?
Yes.
So can I get a motion to approve the agenda? We already did that, we got a second. We're good. Election for the board officers. First, we have the president. And I make a motion that we, or I make a nominee for Mario to be president.
I'll second that.
The PCM is allowed to clear
I will accept.
is allowed to we asked is allowed to take more under the code.
We got anything else on vice president? Anybody want to?
We need to vote on that.
Oh, we need to vote on the
Yeah, we need to
president,
vote on it
sorry.
first.
All in favor?
Aye.
So we got 5.
Warm up.
Vice president,
I would like to nominate Robert Vincelette.
Could be
Robert
I accept.
Vincelette, he accepts.
15 warm up cycles. 15
Second.
15 warm up cycles and 200 miles that could not even look at.
Mario, Vincelette for vice president.
Any other thing that could happen.
Yay or nay?
Yay.
We got 4.
5.
Any nominees for clerk?
I'll nominate Sunni. Hepburn.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay.
Specified in the reference.
I'll second.
Okay.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Dwayne? Aye.
Oh, yeah, I said that.
Yeah, he said that.
Okay. County representative.
President, I,
I nominate Sunni.
requiring specific
Mayor second.
I'll second.
vehicles.
All in favor?
Aye.
Manufacturer specific PO number.
We need an alternative. I nominate Dwayne.
And
I'll second.
it's got older number on it, L5449.
All in favor?
Aye.
Very passive. Fantastic. Yeah.
Okay. Antelope Valley School Board.
And I'd like to nominate Dwayne.
I'll second.
You always gotta check that number.
Okay. That first and second.
Is there a difference between OBD1 and
All in favor?
Aye.
And, what do you do for the number?
Yep. Let's do it.
Let's do the organization with the tags.
Vehicle specific to,
Don't need a pen no
or
more.
number to make that.
You can still sit there.
I'm going to
Oh, wait a minute.
I need to reorg.
Oh, okay.
scoot the chairs.
Okay, so this is still Mario.
Yeah, I'll do all those.
But for now, Bob's running the
Next time, I guess.
Sunny, you should be coming down here.
What piece of equipment, when we talked about the piece of aftermarket, what is the name of the piece of equipment that we use as on-site factory?
Dwayne?
It uses
It's okay. That's what,
SCR and what's that stand for?
that's good.
And, I'll be glad to relinquish this back to Mario when he shows up. Okay, let's, move on. Approve board meeting calendar dates, 18 months, subject to additional meetings and changes.
Thank you, it's probably not. You guys,
Okay, yes, the calendar is on page 7. It's just, sort of outlines our upcoming board meetings for the year. Just needs board approval. There may be at times, a reason for us to hold an emergency meeting, or something may cause us to not be able to have a meeting, but this is the planned calendar for the, beginning January.
Can I make a motion?
Okay, this is a motion by, Mr. Moore, second by Mrs. Hepburn. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, got it? Okay. Board subcommittee volunteers assignments. Budget. Currently, it's Mario and myself. Is anybody else want to change out with somebody, or keep it as is?
I guess that could change, so I think it's available now.
Budget.
Yeah, on budget. Mario, you still on budget?
Yeah.
We can,
You
you
can?
can stop now, you guys don't have to
Keep
be
it
on.
same. Okay, so that will remain Mario and myself. Board policy, keep it the same. Mario, keep the board policy same. That's Hepburn and Moore.
That's fine.
Okay. Curriculum, that's myself and Moore. Keep it the same.
It's available now after we off.
Okay. Project planning, that's, oh, I'm sorry, athletics. Jim, do you still want to stay on? That'll be myself and Jim, unless somebody else wants. Okay, that'll stay the same. Project planning, that's, Moore and Mario.
Sometimes they,
You want to stay there? Jim,
Are you making the meeting?
Jim, did you
I'd
know?
like to be on that.
Yeah, Jim wants to join, because they're typically 8:30 in the morning.
Oh, yeah, not anymore.
Okay, so
Yeah, I
let's
needed
change,
like 10 o'clock.
all right, let's change that to,
Bender and Gutierrez.
all right, we can do that.
I need to send that certificate to VAR, but you want to get the other online training done before you send.
Discipline review, that's, Gutierrez and Bender. Do we still want to keep that the same?
I'm with you.
Mario?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll keep that the same. Calendar, that's myself and Jim. You want to stay on? I'll stay on it as well. And info technology, it's been myself and more. You want to stay on it, Dwayne?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, the only changes was on project planning, where we now have vendor and Mario. Okay? All right, let's go to the next. Reports and communications. RTA? Not here. Student board member? Alexi's not here. CBO? Robert?
CSCI.
Oh, CSEA, are we here? I didn't miss it, I just kept it going. Okay, Mr. Irving.
All right. Welcome, everyone. Realized after last week's board meeting, it's now been a full year of me being at the CBO of the district. So I think I'm gonna this week to reflect back on what a year it's been. When I came on, it was the end of cohorts for SPED and everybody going back into distance learning, and then we in the spring we're able to bring everybody back. So, or not everybody, but the hybrid model and everything. And it's been a wild living learning curve of negotiations and budgets and school board meetings, more meetings than I've ever been to in my life. Construction meetings, so many of those, too many of those. But it's been good. On the construction front, we started this week with more detailed conversations about the proposed cafeteria for the high school. The districts received refund money from the RES project. So we have around $7 million or so towards this to, so that we can get the ball rolling on building a new cafeteria for the high school. It can, have a capacity of, if distance, social distancing were to resume, more than 13 students that could be in the building, which very much needed over there. Looking forward to going through my first intern presentation for you guys in a little bit. Thank you.
Thank you. Great job for your first year. Appreciate all your hard work.
Thank you, Bob.
Assistant Superintendent Instruction and Curriculum. She's not here.
She's out because of her surgery.
Right.
We wish her the very best.
You. Associate Superintendent Human Resources, Mrs. Hargis.
Good evening and welcome to everybody. HR continues to be very busy. We're constantly posting and hiring and moving people to spots where they will do a great job. And I just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and thank you for all your hard work, teachers, students, parents this semester, and look forward to coming back Untitled.
Okay. Thank you. Superintendent's report. Superintendent Gaines.
Thank you, Mr. Vincelette. Couple things. I want to welcome everyone and want to thank our two site administrators, our principals who are here with us live this evening. It's great to see you always. I want to talk a little bit about the concert I attended last night at Tropico Middle School. This is our first year to bring back strings at Tropico, and the kids performed last night with their violins, their violas, and their cellos, and conducted by Mr. Ferrandini, and it was just really, really nice. We had quite a turnout at Tropico, and the choir did a beautiful job. One number that they performed had 23 different carols in one number, and we were tasked with the job of counting how many different carols were in that one number. I guessed 21, but it's actually 23. And I just want to say that I had no idea what a beautiful voice Mr. Ferrandini has. Oh my goodness, I could have listened to him sing more and more songs. And his wife Judith also accompanied the choir last night with her flute, and it was it was just beautiful. I really, really enjoyed myself. If that wasn't enough, as we exited the building at Tropico, the cafeteria, the snowflakes were huge. And so it was like a really, just coming from a Christmas event, and the snow made it. I was so upset when the further east I traveled, the less snow there was. I was like wanting to turn around and go back. It was so beautiful. So kudos to Mr. Ferrandini and his choir and his strings class and Mr. Adams. It was a wonderful event. I really enjoyed myself. So I want to present our attendance awards for the month of November. So Miss Sally, I know you've got them someplace here. So best attendance elementary. I'm getting kind of tired. It's like I'm not getting much. It's the same school, but kudos again to West Park Elementary School for maintaining that top elementary attendance. Dr. Bolton, great job. You're welcome. I'm just going to hang it inside. Okay, that goes out there. Best attended secondary, and this is an interesting one because between Tropico and the high school, I'm really seeing a battle, and Tropico won for the month of November. So outstanding job. Yeah, took this back wherever you keep it in front office.
You have a spot for it.
You have a spot for it. Well, there you go.
Yes, thank you.
You want the rubber band, or give me the rubber band. And I'm a little disappointed because for the first time, in the most improved category, we have a school that won, who coincidentally is not here tonight, but they've never won before. But they had a 0.48%, 0.48% improvement. And that goes to Rare Earth High School. I will make sure that Rare Earth gets this tomorrow to hang in their front office. So, I love the battles that are going on with attendance because we always want to improve our attendance. So I also want to just wish everyone a wonderful holiday. We have 2 more days of instruction, and then the students will be out for 3 weeks. All of our families, our community members, our parents, all of our staff members, I wish you all very much deserved holiday, and I hope you get lots of wonderful time to spend with your family and friends. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Gaines. Okay, we'll start off with Dwayne, Board Communications.
I just wanted to say that tomorrow will be 1 year that I've been on the board, and I wouldn't change it for anything else. And happy holidays to all the students and staff, and be safe over your guys' Christmas break, and make these last 2 days strong.
Mr. Brendan?
Can't believe it was 1 year, it feels like 10.
Mine is 1 year also, so.
Anyways, yeah, hope everyone has a good Christmas and good holiday, and I'm ready for the new year.
Where's my mic? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Just to kind of echo what everyone else is saying, you guys have been working so hard, staff, students, everybody. You deserve this break. Enjoy it, relax, decompress, and then we're going to come back again. But enjoy your break and have a happy holiday.
Okay, I'm going to give Mario a chance before I speak. So Mario, you're up.
Just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and thank you for allowing me to Zoom in while I'm taking my class on the other computer. And when I get done with the meeting, I have a test I have to take. So, thank you, and I wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and that's it. Thank you, Bob.
Yep, you want to bail now, or do you still want to stay?
What?
Do you want to bail, or do you want to stay?
No, I can stay. There is a section here I need to talk.
Oh, okay, oh, no problem, gotcha.
Mario, I'm gonna mute you.
Okay, and again, well, thank you for coming. Thanks for those who have, are listening in on this meeting, appreciate it. Thank you, folks, for, a good year. I know, just like Dwayne and I both started in, I started off a little shaky with COVID, but I weathered that storm and I am here. I wish everybody happy holidays and look forward to next year, get our students back, get them learning, and also wish continued success on our sports programs. And so far, I don't know, I had the opportunity to attend a basketball game last Thursday where with 2 seconds on, we scored the winning basket. So congratulations to the boys basketball team. They played hard. It was well fought against the Hatchby. And look forward to seeing many more games. Nat, is Tropico doing sports this year?
Yep, we just started basketball tryouts today, girls.
Okay, and I'd like to also, if you can, get me the schedule, because I will like to try to get there as much as I can to see the kids play.
We do not have the schedule as of yet.
I didn't think you did, but when you do, I appreciate it.
Mr. Hermes, the athletic director, posts them to the athletics section of the website. The
Okay,
schedule.
so all right, so they are there. Okay, all right. That's basically all I have from there. So, comments from the public. Members of the public may address the board on any items within the jurisdiction of the board by submitting presentation requests to the secretary or an email. Do we have any?
No, we don't.
Okay, then I guess I'm going to forego the rest of it here. Approve minutes. This is consent items, so we're going to approve the minutes. December 2nd, 2021. December 8th, ratify payroll, December mid, $735,356.97. Confirm approval of TA salary increases, one-time bonus, applied administrative and confidential, with a Me Too clause as listed in the bargaining agreement, retro 3%.
What's that?
What's that?
So it doesn't advance then.
It won't go.
Silence, Marianne. It already did. It's on that. Okay, that's it. It's open now. It's correct. Yeah, it's the one.
While they work on that, I'll take advantage of the phone and everything. Yeah, and is July 1st through October 31st is the period that it looks at. So this is one of the few reporting out of the budget that, are mandated by the state and need to be done. So if we look at page 1, it has revenue information for the reporting period. The revised revenue is higher than what was originally budgeted for 21-22. This is in part due to the state's EPA funding is higher than what was anticipated when the budget was created at the end of June, beginning of July. And our property taxes are being projected higher than they were at the time by Kern County. So taking these two things into account, has increased our anticipated revenues for this year.
So as more people move, we get more residents, there's more funding, correct?
That and as the increase in property values goes up, the amount that people get to, then paying taxes on that new assessed value goes up, and we get a larger piece of that. Is that working out?
That's only assessed on certain properties, though. That's not all properties.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So,
some you have to pull out a permit on your house to get that reactivated.
yeah.
So you have to have some type of improvement.
So initially, county had property taxes revenues around $6 million. Their revised one is closer to $8 million. So the combination of that and then the state's funding for the EPA or the Educator Protection Account has increased as state revenue has increased beyond what their original projections were for the end of last year, beginning of this fiscal year. I'm getting ahead of myself. So our unrestricted is based off of the LCFF calculation. So the group called FICMET does a calculator where we put in our student information of our expected enrollment, what our local property tax revenue is, what our EPA funding is. Let's talk about now. And then our restricted funding is our federal funds, which include COVID funding. So our revenue for this year includes the IPI, or the in-person instruction grant that was part of AB 130 last year, with schools reopening in public or in-person instruction, as well as the ELO, or the Expanded Learning Opportunity Grant. And then it includes some of ESSER 2 and part of ESSER 3 allocation, as we've now formulated more of the plan for ESSER 3 and have, a better idea of the anticipated usage than we did at the beginning of the year. We're on a hold harmless still for our ADA funding. Due to the pandemic, the state had a 2-year hold harmless period based off of 2019-2020 attendance. And this reserves projected is 22% at year end. This number is a lot higher than it's going to be at the moment because we're only looking at through October 31st. So the tentative agreements with both associations were approved in November. So when I do the second interim, it'll have the increase of salary, the 3% on and the 2% off reflected in that for the cost of the salaries and everything like that. So before you get really big eyes and stars in your eyes with this 22% number, and then come March when I'm, presenting second interim, you're sharpening your pencils to, stab me in the ribs on the ramp outside, just want to give you a heads up, for my own well-being.
I already got it circled.
Yeah. This is a breakdown of the different types of revenues where you can see the increase in LCFF as well as federal, based off of July 1 budget versus the updated projection as of the end of October. And then here is our expenditures, where, you know, everybody loves revenue and not so keen on the expenditure part, because, you know. One-time funding is increasing expenses still, because we have so much federal funds for COVID and one-time things that, you know, we got on top of the ESSER 3 that we, you know, did the plan for back in October, we still have ESSER 1 money, ESSER 2 money, gear. So there's a lot of acronyms and, you know, pots of money due to the pandemic that, you know, the federal government and state government have, you know, thrown towards schools to help, you know, do the safety and health mitigation stuff, as well as the learning loss mitigation, so summer programs, our reading and math academies, all of those things. Our LCAP, our supplemental and consecration, so extra money we get from the state based off of our unduplicated pupil count, is $9 million. Right now, of the current, based off of everything, we're about 77% budgeted for salaries and benefits. This number will go up with the as the increases in salaries and the off-schedule payment and everything gets rolled into the calculation for the upcoming second term. So this is a breakdown of the expenditures. Big area of note that stood out to me is the certificated salary number, because it initially budgeted $17 million and then it drops by about $1.6 million, is a steep decline. Some classified salaries slipped off a little bit, but not as dramatically.
Why was there a slippage? So
a multitude of reasons that, you know, stem from, since we're only looking from October to July, we're hiring new teachers while budgeting, you know, planning and expecting everybody to be able to start August 1st, you know, beginning of the year. Obviously has not happened, as we've had some positions open since the beginning of school. I'm reconfiguring our position control to better incorporate stipends and extra duty and all of the extracurricular stuff that isn't necessarily tied to, okay, we can, you know, figure out where somebody is on their salary schedule and then boom, roll them over from next year to year with the stipends. It gets a little bit more, okay, who's doing what and when. So I'm still in process of tying that together and then rebuilding it now with the increase in salary schedule, because a lot of the stipends are based off of a percentage based off of the number in the salary schedule. I believe column 2, step 1, but I might have that wrong. But anyway, so that part's a work in progress. I don't think my projections pulled that number through completely accurately. And then there's still some undefined cost of, we know we're going to do summer school, but in terms of presumably, but you know, these discussions are for later down the road of probably 2 sessions like we did last year, but you know, and then the numbers of bodies, you know, people teaching and all of that. So there's some bits and pieces that, you know, will be better congealed by the time second term comes around. They'll have a better idea of where we are, and again, the updates to the, you know, salary schedule and everything. And part of that, we can see an increase in services and other operating expenses, where some of the teachers are contractors, so they're not being paid from one of the same place that a regular teacher would be. They're, you know, we're paying the vendor, so it's being captured down in the $3.9 million area instead of reflected upwards in the certificated salary. And then our multi-year projection, I'm keeping our unrestricted revenue based off of the LCFF calculator to make sure that we're staying, you know, within reason of, you know, expectations of what the COLA or is going to be for next year. We're still in the hold harmless for ADA, like I said earlier. And then our restricted funding is, you know, there's still a lot for the COVID, but the way the reporting of the revenue and we report expenditures quarterly, so we reported in October, I'll report again at the end of this month. And then based off of you spent X number, you get about, 10% of what's left of your allocation. So we, spent $150,000. Okay, we'll get, as long as we're showing that we're expending it, then we get, parts of it back. So instead of being like, okay, we're front loading everything, have at it, and they want to show that we're actually using it before they give it to us. We don't do anything with it, they have to take it back anyway. And then multi-year projection, continuing with following the next couple of years of the assumptions, still with the calculator has the ability to project forward a couple of years based off of where the state is and expectations of the district. Are we in declining enrollment? Are we increasing enrollment? Where are we in that? We can make adjustments. Where coming back from COVID, we are steady at around a little bit over 3,500 enrollment, which is where we were prior to the pandemic, which is a better scenario than a lot of other districts where they've had around the state. There's a lot of districts that have massive declining enrollment of kids that went into distance learning or off to a charter and then have yet to return. While our enrollment is at about 3,500, we're early numbers. P1 isn't due until after Christmas break, but early numbers were around 3,100 for ADA, which is not great. It puts us around 89 to 90% of ADA, which is honestly fairly low for a district. We'd like to be, 90. We'd like to be 100, but realistically, 97, 96% in there is
And that's the average daily attendance?
Yes. So, so at least using what our current ADA is as a basis of something grounded in reality instead of just trying to, grasp at straws and hope, okay, if we, we're around 89, 90%, okay, we're hoping 94% next year, and there might be, there's a talk in the legislature for next year of not necessarily a hold harmless, but something to mitigate ADA, especially for the districts. While we're fortunate enough to maintain our enrollment, other districts that are losing that enrollment and then also have that drop in their ADA, they're coming up to what's been referred to as an ADA cliff. So come January, there'll probably be more information of, okay, is the state going to step in and kind of buffer that fall a little bit before districts that, were budgeted and expecting, 3,500 kids only have 3,000 kids. Okay, the funding just fell through the roof, and now they got to, start layoffs and all of that stuff that nobody wants to do. So, hopefully have good information coming, good news coming in the future about, what the state's plan is for that. And then, CPI COLA, School Services of California is another fiscal group that works with county offices and districts of, okay, this is where the education world is in terms of, how to predict and work with funding. So they put out a dartboard around, the governor's proposed budget in January, again in May, and then a few more in June and July once the final budget is made, to kind of guide the districts on, okay, here's, the cost of PERS, STRS, the consumer price index, where it's going to be, what the state's COLA, if there's going to be one, to kind of give, CBOs and districts, guidance on the budget side of everything. As far as federal categorical programs, so our Title I programs, our Title II, Title III, all of those areas where we get extra money from the federal government for low-income, homeless youth, EL students, etc. Right now, I just have the revenue just projected flat because there hasn't been much change in those demographics over the last little while. The IPI and ELO or one-time funds only good for this year, so once this year's up, they're not projected into anything for the multi-year because the time for all that fund to be spent is over. Based off of where we are in this year and then the next following out years, this is what the multi-year looks like, and it, again, depending on how ADA impacts us, it could be a dramatic difference between, okay, we're looking at 22 to almost 28%. There's a lot of moving parts still as districts are, in the first real year back of what do the next couple of years look like, and then there's always just the wild macro things of, changes in government and theory and philosophy of, okay, where do we want to, focus our attention to? Well, so these numbers along with the current year reserve levels will be much, I think, at least a better fine-tuned for the end of it. Well, obviously the end of this year, but for next year as well, once January hits and we have an idea of what the governor's proposed budget at least is beginning to look like. This year is begun, or will continue to be move away from everything being LTAP and based to more categorical programs. We have universal TK on the horizon. We have the educator effectiveness block grant that Barbara will be talking about later. Just instead of just being told, here's just your money, do whatever you want with it, here are different avenues and where specifically we want you to use them. So I'm anticipating there will be an increase in that as long as, the current governor stays in office, where it just seems to be his mindset versus Jerry Brown's in the past. This is our projected balances for all our other funds that we currently have. Really, things to note in here are 135 right now is just zero because the only thing that we had funding for at the end of October was the kindergarten project happening at RES, where it's, state funding that we were getting, given $5 million for the project, and we're going to use, all of that budget because, that's how that project is gone. Cafeteria Fund is at the end of October is a little bit higher than it currently looks, but there's grant funding on the horizon for capital improvement stuff, ovens, warmers, extra training and stuff that surveys due in about a month or so that me and Rusty will be working on. And then our capital facilities fund, which is developer fees that we talked about last week with the expenditure report of where things have maintained their the last year or so of roughly every month has been about the same amount of it. We haven't seen a steep climb yet in that, so still projecting it to be about where it was this year. And that is my presentation. I went through a lot. Do you guys have any questions on anything, or?
And the only thing so we're averaging about 330 or 360 students absent every day.
They're about to. A little bit less than that, but there's, and it depends, site to site, it's, well, we've seen the attendance alert stuff where, and it's, again, a little bit outside my depth to, go into why and all that, because, more the accounting guy and payroll guy, that's, but, between, just rolling off the cuff, I have to imagine, and having to deal with quarantines or people sick in the household, that kind of thing, and everything else, and then, just getting people re-engaged with the classroom. But,
G, Certified District First Century Report with positive certification. Motion?
Yes, more.
More? Second?
Aye.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Covers, yep, five ayes. Adoption of EEF Education Effective Fund, block grant spending plan. Superintendent Gaines?
Yes, I presented this last week to you. This is the educator effectiveness grant that primarily covers 10 categories of professional development, and it's in the amount of $44,000. We did account for the entire amount of providing professional development over the next, counting this current year and the next 4 years for all staff members in various different job classifications. And so tonight I asked the Board of Trustees to adopt the Educator Effectiveness Block Grant.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, motion by Bender,
Second by Moore.
second by Moore, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. Personnel items, approve the following list of personnel items. Mrs. Hargis?
Yes, the two modifications, the two corrections, everything else, we would recommend for approval.
Okay, and that's the classified stipend extra duty? Is that the one we're not doing?
No, so in the top part,
Oh, top part.
there is, April Sandoval, she's not transferring to different spots.
Okay,
And then, Marcelo Rubalcaba, he was gonna start tomorrow, but he's actually not going to start until we return in January.
okay,
Of 2022.
right, I got that one. Okay.
Everything else?
Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, what's the prep period buyout from Paxton Patterson for $4,000 for? What is that? Is that a buyout?
I can answer that, Mr. Bender. Paxton Patterson is our new lab, the 18 labs that we're putting in at Tropico Middle School. And because we want to open that class in second semester, because we're in the middle of the year, we do not have a teacher to teach 6 periods of that, but we do have a highly qualified teacher who will teach 1 period of it this second semester. And then so that looking forward to the next school year, then it allows Mr. Adams and the HR department time to readjust their master schedule so that we can offer that the Paxton Patterson labs, let's say in 5 or 6 periods a day. So this is just paying that teacher for her prep period.
For the 1 period?
Yes.
Have a motion? Have a motion from Hepburn,
I'll second.
second from Mr. Bender. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, this one belongs to Mario. So Mario, you're on. This is the approved authorization to issue a one-time 3% off-schedule bonus of $3,373.66 for Superintendent Barbara Gaines based on 2021/2022 annual salary. No 3% salary increase. Mario?
We gave all the employees a 2% off schedule